Everybody, it's Rico Suave, and it's good to be back in the States. Been abroad for a little bit. My work has taken me abroad, but it's good to be back. And I pretty much want to jump in exactly where we left off. So the last video I made for you guys was an interview that I had with JJ. Guy had a ton of knowledge, and it was great. It was actually a pleasure having him over here and bouncing ideas off and getting to learn about what the operational side of our military forces and how they handle basic hygiene, basic hygiene problems that may occur, how they handle things, and how their preventative medicine aspect of hygiene. So it was really great. Learned a lot from him, and it was really good having him on, having him do the interview with us. Just as a side note, since the video was made, he has been activated and he's since gone overseas. So let's keep in our thoughts and our prayers for him to do his job and come back to us safe and sound in one piece. So keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, like I said, ton of knowledge. Great guy, knows a lot. He definitely had a lot to bring to the table, and it really helped me form some of the videos that I'm making. And after that discussion, I feel it's very important that I do basically a series on basic hygiene and what you can do in case a disaster happens, or for whatever reason, whether it doesn't have to be a disaster. Like I said before, this long-term camping subject where, you know, it can be used if you're going on a camping trip, or it can be used in case a zombie apocalypse happens, or we lose the power grid due to peak oil and not having enough natural gas reserves. I mean, whatever you want to call it, man. But this is something that's important. I mean, we've seen this, you know, in the last 10 years. Look at Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Katrina. The Southeast is always having hurricanes that are disrupting the power grid and taking these sanitation services away. So thinking about it, doing a lot of thoughts and research, I'm going to start with using the restroom. The reason why I feel like that's super duper important is because, let's be honest, toilets, they waste a lot of water. The average American toilet uses 3.6 gallons of water per flush. So on average, the average person, you know, lowballing it, if you will, one person will use about 18.8 gallons of water a day just flushing the toilet. And it's really, when you talk about using the toilet, it really doesn't matter if you're, you know, voiding, or how you void, whether you're urinating or your excrement, because of the fact that it uses the same amount of water per flush. So when you're thinking about that and thinking about a situation being, you know, down, where are you going to come up with 20 gallons of water per person? It's just not going to happen. Let's be real honest. It's not going to happen. The toilet's not flushing. Everybody's excrement is coming up because the overloaded sanitation system, there's nobody there to control the amount of use that's being used on it. What's going to happen? People are going to get sick, and you're going to overload the public system. People are going to die. That's what's going to happen. Plain and simple. People are going to die. We've seen it time and time again throughout history, and for those of you that are subscribers, most of you guys already know this, so I'm beating a dead horse. So what can we do? Well, looking at this issue, I feel like the best way to go about it is using a composting toilet. A composting toilet pretty much is a self-contained system where you void inside of a system, a bucket, whatever, and you let the excrement dry out, and basically it turns into potting soil. You're basically turning human excrement into potting soil. It's pretty much what you're doing. It's really simple. You don't have to do anything. Natural microbes are going to break that down. But I feel like that's the best way to do it. And I know a lot of people are, you know, this is not a topic they want to talk about, but, you know, fortunately, we live in the United States of America. We live in a place where if you want water, you go to the knob and turn the knob and water comes out. You know, you go and you want power, you flip a switch, magic happens, power's there. You go to use the restroom, you get done doing your business, you wiggle the handle, magic happens, your waste is now out of sight, out of mind. Well, when we come into a situation where that's no longer available, hey, guess what? You got to deal with your excrement. You got to deal with your used water. You got to deal with these things. So let's talk about it. So composting toilet, I think, is the way to go for a lot of different reasons that we'll get into in a little bit. But for your normal average person, especially people that live in cities and suburbia, the ability, like me, I can go, if I really wanted to, I can go outside, dig a hole, do my business, bury it up, and I can do that in different places for the rest of my life, and there is always going to be a place to use the restroom, you know what I mean? So for me, it's not that big deal for that, but if you're a city dweller, you can't just go outside, dig a hole, and use the restroom. I mean, it's just not feasible. So what can you do? Well, there are options. So what I want to do is I want to talk about a composting toilet. The one I'm talking about, when you do research to composting toilets, just Google it. I mean, you have composting toilets that are really fancy, that are over $1,000. They get really intense with it. Really fancy. The one I'm going to show you is a really basic system, under 20 bucks. For under 20 bucks, I can make a composting toilet that I can use indefinitely. Until I break it, pretty much. Until I break it, use it indefinitely. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hey everybody, it's Rico Suave, and I want to show you my composting toilet setup. So it's a pretty simple setup here. As you can see here, we have a 5-gallon bucket with a Reliance toilet seat lid. So this cover right here from the Reliance company, which I think goes extremely well for what we're talking about, is the composting toilet. Now right here, as you can see, I have a liner, and in this liner is a biodegradable bag. Inside you can put a vast array of different media, everything from sand, peat moss, kitty litter, sawdust, you name it. Now if you're trying to go green and actually use it for composting, I'd recommend the sawdust or the peat moss, but like I said, if survival is the key, there's a vast array of different media you can put in here. It's very durable. I'm a 200-pound man. I can sit on this thing no problem. I can sit, flail around without support of my legs, and this thing is going to hold fast. It's going to stay strong and steady for you. So the strength is there. Simple, easy, compact. Definitely does the trick. Right here, I have my portable urinal, if you will, which is pretty much a gallon drinking water bottle with a funnel on top. So the height of this, if you look at it, the height of this goes right above my knee. So it's a perfect height for me to urinate in. And if you need to increase the height of the funnel, I mean, you can do so. That's an easy fix. So what I really like about this system is the fact that it's, number one, it's really light, compact. I mean, if you really wanted to and you needed to store this for use, you could easily store it all inside the bucket. No problem. No problem there. Very cheap, self-contained, and it's waterless, like we were talking about. The average person can easily use 20 gallons of water a day, just dealing with waste, and here it's completely 100% water free. Another good thing I like about it is you can do this, and you can void, and you can use the restroom in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go out into the open and do your business open exposed. You can do it inside the privacy of your RV, motorhome, apartment, house, your domicile. So I think it's great, especially if it's cold outside and it's at night. You don't want to go out there and do that when it's cold at night in the unknown. You can do it here in the privacy of your own domicile, like I said. So pretty much let me go over the basics of how composting works. So regardless if you get a really expensive $1,000 one or you go with a cheap setup like this for under 20 bucks, it's the same process. When you excrement, that solid material is 90% water. So the most important thing is getting it dry and allowing that good microbial process with that good bacteria to break down that fecal matter into basically a nutrient-rich topsoil. Now the reason why I have two is because I like to separate my liquids from my solids. The reason being is because your liquids are going to be high in ammonia and it's sterile. And the purpose of the compost toilet is you want to dry that out into a good topsoil. So for me, using the urinal versus having a portable urinal and having a composting toilet, I can do that and I can do it quicker. So it's going to get rid of any of the bad smells that you may have. It's going to make sure that the composting happens quicker. So overall, and it's more comfortable and easier for me to do it, do my liquids in here and then in here. So this is a really cheap setup, really easy, like I said, compact setup. So if you're looking at it, you're looking at $1.50 maybe for the funnel, the water bottle under $1, the lid cover right here you can get at Walmart for about $12 to $15, the bucket itself $5, and then for biodegradable bags, which are great, you can get 60 of them for about $12 to $15 depending on the company. So that'll last you 2 months, and 2 times 6 is 12. So you can easily get all the parts that you need to set this up. Most of us already have a water bottle, a funnel, and a bucket. So really, you may only be needing to get this, get the lid and the biodegradable bags, which are great because you can then take those bags, you can go out, and you can bury them or you can put them in the environment without it hurting it. The plastic bags, they're not biodegrade. The biodegradable ones will. So that's one good plus side to it.
So there you have it. That's my setup. As you can see, I went with something very super easy, cheap, durable that anybody can use and be successful with. So I think it's important that we start having these conversations on what are you going to do in case something does happen, and it's important because the average American uses the restroom at least 7 times a day. So it's something that we do every day, and we really have no control over that. So it's very important that we start having these conversations and start preparing, and doing so in the most economic, safe manner is the most important. And the composted toilet allows you to do that. It's the closest thing to out of sight, out of mind that you can get being disconnected from the grid. So I think it's very, very important to people start looking at these things and start planning them out. So I really hope that you like the video. Just a few pointers or a few tips. Separate the liquids and the solids, like I said before. That's going to help with the smell. And also, if you have used coffee grinds, throw those in there. Guarantee you, your waste will smell like Starbucks. It will smell like coffee. So that's another trick that you can use that I found to be extremely helpful. And yeah, it's really simple. It's really easy, and it just makes sense. This idea that we will whenever we, for example, whenever we urinate, we use 4 to 5 ounces maybe of fluid, but we washed away with almost 4 gallons of water. I mean, it's really, it's like I said before, it's good that we have these public services, water management, sewer. Um, but if you don't have it, just realize that the need for a waterless, self-contained system is extremely, extremely important, and that's what the composting toilet does. Gives you the ability to manage your waste, like I said, in a very economical, safe manner. So it's a win-win. I can't think of really any downside besides you actually having to take fiscal and personal responsibility for your waste, which for me, and for anybody in an emergency setting is really not that big of a deal, especially if I get to use the restroom in privacy of my own domicile. So for me, it's a win-win. I hope you guys like the video. There's going to be lots of others. Going to be a couple other videos on basic hygiene topics that I really want to hit on that I feel like that are really extremely important to um, kind of this series that we're doing. So if you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment, leave me a question. I love getting your questions. I love helping you guys out to the best of my ability. Any advice would be great too as well. Anything you want to see a video done or have questions on, please feel free to PM me or leave me something in the comment section below. So as always, long live the Republic.